Breaking right now, Donald Trump on Truth Social says that on Sunday night, he received a Justice Department letter saying that he's the target of a probe into efforts to undo the election of 2020. It's a long statement. We're just looking at it right now, but we'll get more on this in a moment. He called Jack Smith, the prosecutor, deranged, sent a letter Sunday night stating that I'm the target of the grand jury investigation, giving me a very short 4 days to report to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest and indictment, end quote. So that's from Donald Trump a moment ago. We'll get more on this coming up. First, though, from last night on Laura's new show.
Well, these two whistleblowers have been nothing but credible. Who are you going to believe? The Biden Justice Department that said parents were terrorists, who said Catholics were extremists, who censored Americans' First Amendment free speech rights, or these two whistleblowers who have impeccable records?
House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan on the two IRS whistleblowers in the Hunter Biden investigation says their word is nothing but trustworthy. Tomorrow, the second whistleblower will testify before another House panel. Kim Strassel is the Potomac Watch columnist for the Wall Street Journal, author of the new book, The Biden Malaise. How you doing? Good morning to you.
Good to be here.
Let's just touch on this news right now. I know you haven't seen it. We're just reading it out to our audience at the moment, but apparently Sunday night there was another message delivered. What do you make of that news?
Yeah, it looks like confirmation that Jack Smith is not done. Okay, we got this first indictment. There had been a lot of rumors and suggestions that he was also looking into the question of the 2020 election, following down the same path that Georgia prosecutor has been going. But it suggests that, you know, we could have yet another round of indictments.
And still, we're in this moment where we're looking at the handling of the Hunter Biden probe and the investigation there. And James Comer's still at it. Jim Jordan on the Ingram angle last night on that said that these two whistleblowers have been nothing but credible, Kim. So where does all of this go next? And why are there not more lawmakers taking this seriously?
Well, I think here's a really important thing about these two whistleblowers is that if you read through all the testimony, hundreds of pages of it, they completely corroborate each other. Okay, and we know that they did work together, but now we've also heard that there's a retired FBI agent who has come in and corroborated them. So we're having greater numbers of people come out and tell the exact same story about what went wrong in this Hunter probe and the idea that there was political mischief.
What I find interesting, this is December of 2020, all right? So this is a transition period. Joe Biden's going to be the next president. Donald Trump's on his way out. So this is December 7, 8, 9, I think, okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Call for one. On the day of the Hunter Biden interview that was apparently scheduled, federal agents were told to stand by and not to approach Hunter Biden. They had to wait for his call. As a result of the change in plans, IRS and FBI criminal investigators never got to interview Hunter Biden as part of the investigation, suggesting there that they were tipped off and the interview never happened.
Yeah, and again, the FBI agent is saying this as well, too. This was a huge part of the whistleblower testimony, because what they said is they had planned this day of action for a long time, and they had like 15 different people they wanted to approach. And the reason that the IRS and FBI investigators, you don't tip them off, is you don't want to give them a chance to lawyer up. You want to kind of surprise them, as it were, and get their candid response. And instead, what happened here is they are claiming that FBI headquarters let Hunter and his team know that they were coming the next day, and that this potentially gave Hunter the opportunity to tell all of his associates. They only ended up getting one substantive interview that day after that tip-off.
So tomorrow afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, we have a hearing, right? Mm-hmm. And we believe this person X will be there. And we believe Gary Shapley will be there.
Yes.
Now, Shapley's been out there. He's done interviews. He was with Brett back on the 28th of June, and here's a clip of what he said then.
That's kind of the crux of one of the issues here, is that we weren't allowed to ask questions about Dad. We weren't allowed to ask about the big guy. We weren't allowed to include certain names and document requests and search warrants. So, you know, we were precluded from following that line of questioning.
That's part of what he said. We'll get more tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we're finally going to hear these people on the record for ourselves. And I'm betting that now that we have yet more information from this FBI investigator, we're going to get a different set of questions as well, too. This isn't just going to be a repeat of what he said before. We're probably going to elicit, and we'll probably have some news out of this because we're going to have them following down different lines of this.
Right, and we got Chaplin, you got the other person who has yet to speak also.
Yes,
Go
that's
ahead.
right.
Kimberly, congratulations on the new book.
Thank you.
The Biden Malaise, How America Bounces Back from Joe Biden's Dismal Repeat of the Jimmy Carter Years. It's really sort of, could you call it a message of hope? If you talk about it, they came into their offices, hot messes on inflation, energy, crime, foreign policy, and beyond. 44 years apart, you say America can bounce back.
Yeah, you know, and the comparisons are amazing. Although, by the way, the book makes the case that this is unfair to Jimmy Carter because Joe Biden was issued a much stronger hand than Jimmy Carter ever had. But yeah, it is meant to be a message of hope. It's meant to point out that one of the things that happened in Carter's administration was that America saw what happened with bad policies. And another candidate came along and gave them a new path. Ronald Reagan changed politics for a long time, changed the economy. We know this formula and the economic policies that work.
Who comes along then?
Ronald Reagan.
No, this time
This time around, no. And, you know, and that's one of the points of the book.
Right.
It's one of the points of the book is, you know, I think conservative voters, independent voters need to think hard about this. Who are they going to choose as their messenger? Because one of the reasons Reagan was successful, it wasn't just that he had a roadmap, but economic policies. He was a hopeful, positive person that tried to bring people together.
And America was on its back.
Yeah, and America was on its back. And we're kind of there right now, too.
Kimberly, good luck. Nice to see you today.
Thanks,
The
so much.
Biden Malaise is the book. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.